I just sat down with a 22-year-old that made over $300,000, Brian Villa. He shared his blueprint, how he succeeded. He gave us tips on hard work, ethic, and what makes him successful. Enjoy this conversation. Brian, what you said the other day on stage, it blew my mind. I mean, you earned $300,000 at the age of 22. Let me ask you, why did you become a realtor?
So it all started a couple years back. My girlfriend, she actually used to be a real estate assistant for a team with Realty of Chicago at the time. And she was the one that kept pushing me. Brian, you have to become a realtor. She opened my eyes to all the opportunities that real estate brings. And at first, I wasn't for it. I gave her a lot of pushback. But ultimately, I fell into her, persistence. And I decided to start my journey. My first year as a real estate agent, I made around $8,000. Second year, I made around $130,000. And then the third year, that's where I made $300,000.
Man, big congrats to you, because even making $130,000 in your second year is an incredible achievement. So big congrats to you. You should be very, very proud. But making $300,000, that's like next level money. That changes a lot of people's lives. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk to you and interview you. I'll tell you this, not every day you find someone like you. So I want to share with the audience, tell me, how are you closing so much business? Give us one or two tips and tricks that you're doing in real estate that would maybe help somebody else.
So to start off, I'd say is a lot of consistency. For a lot of the time that I started off, I didn't see any results. My first 6 months was very, very difficult. Like I mentioned, I didn't have a huge database. I didn't have a large family or a lot of friends that I could go to for business. So it all started off with Instagram and Facebook. Since I didn't have any followers on there, I had to start from zero. I started adding people on social media, and I would do that consistently. I would add maybe 50 to 100 people every single day on social media consistently. And over time, that's when I started seeing results. Not only adding people, but also posting consistently. I would aim to post maybe 4 times a day per page. And over time, that's what got me a lot of business in real estate.
Now, congrats. So it sounds like consistency, dedication, and hard work is, it's funny, everyone says that, right? Mm-hmm. But now you're telling us hey, this is how I built my business. I started from zero, built my Instagram page with 0 followers, and now I've been adding 50 people a day, and you're posting consistently 4 times a day. Tell us, is that where the majority of business is coming from, or?
So that's a good portion of my business. I also do a lot of posts on the Facebook Marketplace, Facebook groups. I usually post properties that I find that would be appealing to the first-time homebuyer, properties that range around the $200,000 to $300,000 mark. And then I always advertise different loan programs. I don't typically advertise the property itself. I like to advertise the different programs. And then that way it brings you more results when you're posting on those pages.
And then how did you figure out these ideas or these tips and tricks? How did you figure this out?
So it was a lot of trial and error. My first 6 months, I tried a lot of different things. I tried open houses. I would try door knocking. I even tried a little bit of cold calling. But ultimately, I didn't see many results with those forms of generating leads. And then when I was trying different things, I started to notice more results using these methods. And then it was trial and error, seeing what people were responding, seeing what worked best. And then once I noticed that something was working for me, I just went in at it 1,000%. And then I just remained really consistent with it.
So you went from $8,000 to $120,000 to $300,000, right? 0 paid marketing. You're not, this is just you, yourself, and it's just you, yourself, and I. Mm-hmm. So tell me, what else can you tell me other than social media and other than hard work? What's one key thing that you had to do to make sure that you're successful?
Yeah, so definitely, I would suggest, I always was open-minded. I always called everybody for help. Whenever I was stuck, I wouldn't just try to fix it on my own. I wouldn't, I would put my, obviously your ego aside and call everybody, try to get different perspectives from different people on how to solve a problem. So if I couldn't figure it out, I had 3 people on standby giving me the answers or giving me 3 different solutions. So then I would take everyone's solutions and then kind of make it into my own, right? I would do that every single time I was stuck with a problem. So I would always ask for advice. I would always ask for help. And then just doing that consistently, that's how I felt like I developed a lot as an agent.
What drives you? Why all this hard work? Like, just something like what fuels the engine?
So definitely, I'd say my parents. My parents, they left Mexico. They left behind their entire family. And I noticed those sacrifices that they made. My dad actually, he wasn't able to visit his family and visit his parents anymore before they passed away. So things like that, I remember it every single day. Every time I wake up, I think about them. I think about all the sacrifices that they made for me. And I want to make them proud.
And do they know you made $300,000 at the age of 22 years old?
I kind of told them, I told them how much I made because I wanted to, I'm very proud of it. So I wanted to show them that all their hard work and all their sacrifices is worth it. I dropped out of college. They weren't happy with that decision, but I told them that I was going to make them proud. I was going to make it happen one way or another. And I had to tell them to make them proud.
So $300,000 at the age of 22 in your third year real estate. What does year 4, year 5, year 6 look for Brian?
Yeah, so now I just started off a team this year. So I am predicting to get close to $500,000 this year. And then obviously the years from that, my goal is to become a millionaire before I turn 25. So that's pretty much my goals for the upcoming years.
Okay, and then how are you getting to $500,000 in earned income this year? And how do you plan to become a millionaire before you turn 26?
Yeah, so it's definitely now, it's not only me in the business. I actually built a team of a couple realtors now. We have 6 realtors, including an assistant that's helping us out with everything. So I want to continue expanding my team and really helping those realtors succeed and strive. So that's part of my goal, right? Helping them succeed. And ultimately, that's going to help me reach my goal of the income that I'm looking to make. Obviously, I want to develop the systems and eventually get more into the investment side. I want to purchase more multi-unit properties, doing more fix and flips, and that's going to help me reach my goal.
Do you have investment properties now?
Yes, I actually own 2 multi-unit properties right now. I've closed around 3 fix and flips now. So that's going to be my goal, to keep expanding that portfolio of real estate.
And then are you buying these properties like in a certain town, or are you just buying them wherever they come?
So for the multi-unit properties, I've purchased them in the West Lawn, Gage Park area on the south side, just an area that I'm pretty familiar with. I actually went to school in West Lawn, so I'm pretty familiar with all of that area. The rental income is pretty good and the taxes are low in the properties, so it does cash flow quite a bit, right? Same for fix and flips. I'm pretty familiar with the south side, so most of them have been in the Scottsdale area. So I'm looking to continue purchasing properties in that area.
Nice. Congrats. So other than you become a millionaire by the time you're 26 and owning a lot of real estate and growing your team, what are the goals that you have?
Let's see. So I do have a lot of goals. Obviously, I want to eventually get married, right? I am 22, so that's probably going to be in the next couple of years, maybe, right?
Hopefully to the girl that introduced you into real estate.
Yes, definitely. She's been with me for 8 years now, so she's been very supportive with me. She's been with me through thick and thin since before I even had a job. So definitely, she deserves it, right? I do want to purchase myself a nicer car. Right now, I do have a Tesla, but eventually, I want to be like you and purchase my Lambo one day. That's definitely my goal for the upcoming years.
What color Lambo do you want?
Oof. I would say maybe a matte black. Matte black has always been my favorite color.
For me, for Ferraris and Lamborghinis, whenever I see one in black, unless it's the right color, it looks like a Batmobile, I just feel that a sports car like that should always be like a crazy color.
Something that,
but hey, if you're working hard for it, you deserve it. And I'm happy to hear that. Tell me, what did you do before real estate?
Before I was a real estate agent, I actually used to work at a grocery store. I would push carts outside. I would be a bagger. They had me cleaning the toilets, as I mentioned the other day. I would pretty much take on any job, any responsibility within the grocery store. That way I could kind of be the favorite and get the most amount of hours and the most amount of overtime. So sometimes I would work 14 hours. One time I worked 16 hours straight. So I would, that's pretty much what I would be doing.
And have you had a chance to talk to your old boss? Does he or she know what you're doing now?
No, I haven't. I actually just went there yesterday. I just stopped by the grocery store just to see, who was still in there. And it's definitely interesting how much control we have over our lives. There's still some of the workers that I used to work with that are still working there. And it's just crazy to think how, as long as you take initiative, you can control and you can really change your life in those 3 years. Whether other people are just probably going to sit back and, write it out, you actually have a lot of control, because I was in the same position as these other people, but I decided to take control of my life and make something out of it in those 3 years.
I'll tell you that now you're trying to, I don't know if you know this, but you're starting to see it, is that you're becoming a leader. And one responsibility that you have as a leader is that you also have to help others. So there's a Brian V out there, there's a Myra out there that they don't know they can be this successful. And it's now your job to go out there and just invite them and bring them out. And I'll tell you that being very successful for yourself, congratulations. That's something that's great, but also a little bit of legacy that you're going to start building and seeing is saying, man, you know what? I helped that person. I helped that person. Before this interview, you were telling about like, oh, I helped that agent learn how to do Facebook Marketplace. And there has to be something great about that feeling. So make sure that you're also giving back a little bit. And hey, if you see someone out there that's an incredible server or incredible busboy or a bag boy or someone working at a grocery store as a cashier, hey, you know what? Hey, real estate changed my life. And this is how you can do it. And I'll tell you, that's one of the things that because I see myself in you, a lot of things that you did. I became a millionaire early on. I sold 104 houses individual. I did a ton of fix and flips. I bought the Lambo that you're trying to buy. But one thing is I could have just been an agent, but then I decided to build this almost ecosystem. And within the ecosystem, I wanted to help people like you. I wanted to create something where you can come in here and become successful. I wanted to create something where I could help other people that I don't even know. Hey, there's a way at a better life, because a lot of us, if you hear it on TV, is that the American dream is dead, that the American dream is not alive anymore. And the truth of the matter is, right now, sitting with you, is the American dream is alive and well, because you're building your version of your American dream right now in real time. I'm sure your parents are happy. I'm sure your future wife is happy. I'm sure your colleagues are happy. But now let's make sure we do that for others as well. What do you think?
Definitely.
All right, great. You joined Realty Chicago when it was still Realty Chicago.
Yes.
Right? So what do you think of you spoke about how you've seen your life change in 3 years.
Yes.
What do you think of Realty of America now, or Realty of Chicago blossoming into Realty of America, 24 states, almost 3,300 agents, billions of dollars closed, now a national powerhouse?
Well, definitely, it was something new to a lot of us. I know a lot of realtors were scared of the change, but something with me is that I'm not scared of change. I've changed jobs so many times in such short amount of time. So I'm not scared of any change. And I was definitely excited about the change, hearing you guys talk about it. It was a great change that we made. It was a lot of moving parts at the time when we were switching over from Realty of Chicago to Realty of America. There was different splits. Everything was changing, different offices. But, part of me is that I'm for it. I love change, and I wanted to, let's see what it's about and grow with the company, I've always trusted you guys since I first started with Realty of Chicago. I've always trusted your decisions, and I know that you're a great leader. So I always saw the future. You made us see the vision, and I think that's why I'm very happy with the way that the company's moving.
So what does it feel to now have agents in Indiana and Wisconsin, in Texas, and Florida, in California, in Nevada, in New Jersey?
It's pretty awesome to see the way that the company has expanded. It's like if we just had a lot of new cousins join the family. It just, even though the company is so big, it still feels like we're all a family. even with people that are in different states, whenever we have the NARIP events or whenever we have those networking events, I've spoken to a few of the realtors from the different states, and everyone is very welcoming, everyone's very supportive, and everyone's willing to learn and help each other grow. So I think that even though we expanded from Realty of Chicago to Realty of America, we still kept the same mindset, that family-oriented mindset, where everyone's just very supportive of each other. So it's definitely something good.
Okay, so there's a 22-year-old out there that doesn't know about real estate, is making maybe $12,000 a year, like you were. What advice do you have for that person?
Well, I mean, honestly, I would love to talk to them and open their eyes just the way that they opened my eyes with real estate, right? So at first I didn't see the opportunities at first until somebody went there and told me physically, hey, look, you have to join this field, right? So I want to talk to them and tell them that there is so many more opportunities to make money and to generate and to create wealth, right? So I would love to show them the opportunities that we have, and I would tell them to continue to work very, very hard, put in all the hours, and show them that, that everything's possible.
For me, real estate changed my entire life. I'll tell you that I don't know what I would be doing if it wasn't for real estate. Just everything, the opportunities that has brought to me is I would never believe if you would have asked me, Eddie, like you would be living this life. I would never guess it. To be the CEO of Realty of America, to have over 3,000 agents, to be closing billions of dollars a year in real estate production, all from nothing to this is that's what the American dream is. And I'm happy to see you thriving and succeeding in your version of the American dream. And now for you to be an example to someone else, someone that's 19, 18, 20, 21, 22, that wants a different version of their life. Even if it helps them go from 12,000 a year to 50,000 a year, that's a big improvement. So thank you for being on here. I'll tell you that this video is going to help change a lot of people's lives because of you, because of your hard work, because of everything that you're doing. So I appreciate you for being here, and thank you and for sharing that. Any last words?
Yeah. So one piece of advice that I would give to others is aim high, strive big, and you need to have crazy goals. You need to have goals that you think aren't attainable, and that's how you're going to become a better individual, by having goals that you think are very far-fetched, something that's not even realistic, and then eventually, if you don't meet those goals, at least you end up at the summit. You end up pretty high up there.
So if you think what he just said, the advice he's giving you is work hard, be dedicated, and aim high. And I'll tell you, that's literally my key to my success, because I aimed to the moon, and we're going to the moon. I'll tell you, real estate, if you're not happy with your job, if it doesn't fulfill you, my advice is the same advice you gave. Go seek something else, possibly look into real estate, come to a career night. And I'll tell you that this career, if you put what you've put into it and what I put into it, I'll tell you, then change a lot of people's lives. So thank you for being here, young man.
Thank you.
There you go. Boom, we got you in time.
All right.